Welcome to the Wild West Crypto Show special broadcast edition. I'm Drew.
I'm Brent.
And we have with us, let me tell you something. You talk about a guy that's reading the tea leaves.
Bo knows.
Bo knows.
We say that every time. Bo knows. Hey, Bo, how are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me back. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, Bo, especially, I mean, you know, the whole world's in a panic. I never thought a time in my life you couldn't go to the store and get toilet paper, you know, unless they'd cut all the trees down. And you know, one of the things that we've been trying to tell people to do is just to not overreact, be a little calmer than you are. And what's interesting about this, I have to tell you, our last couple of broadcasts or interviews with you, you've gone in and called a couple of things like the Dow's going to be under 19,000 before April. It's before April. The Dow's under 19,000. You said it would drop 36%, 35%. It dropped 36. Bo knows. Bo
knows.
Bo, you're spot on. And you made no bones about it. That they can move the cycle, but they can't change the trend in these things. And you've been proven closer than anything we've seen. Tell us a little bit about, you know, what's going on in your head with this stuff going on.
Okay, well, first off, I want to say one thing before we get into all the cycle charts. This is critical. When I did do this interview initially with you guys, and then also on prior ones a few days before that with Greg Hunter, I said, if this plays out this way, which I believe it was, because I really prayed on this to make sure that this was the most accurate analysis I could give, and I put out the most accurate analysis I could give, and it was, for the most, I would probably say it was as close to 100% as you possibly can be. Now, I don't want the glory for this. I said, if this is that accurate, glory goes to God, because he actually, from what I understood, he showed me the patterns of what I need to look for. And it was, I would say 100, if it's 100% accurate, it ain't me. Okay.
Yeah.
God does that. Okay. So I want to be crystal clear is these are biblical times. And what you just saw was a biblical event, period.
Yeah.
Okay. This event is the start of more stuff into the future, okay? If you read within the Bible, there is what is called the third seal of Revelation. This is what we are experiencing. It's the scales. We've had the scales like this for generations, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse. And this is basically the paper monetary system been holding everything down, but basically the paper monetary system has been the heavy part, and it's been basically just loaded with money and debt. And the third seal is the changing of the scales.
Wow.
Okay. And so we are seeing a shift in the world financial monetary system. We are seeing a shift into, not yet, but we are about to see a shift into cryptocurrencies, gold and silver. They will be the new base for the new monetary system that's about to rise. But before a new monetary system can rise, one must die.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, this is not where this whole system, because remember, this is an enormous beast of debt and money. This is not like you need to run to the store and buy up the last bit of whatever because it's over. No, the world doesn't come to an end this year. Okay. Or the world's never going to come to an end. It's just a financial change. Okay. So we're at a point at a major crossroads in our world where you're first seeing the burning of a financial system, and it's changing. And then as this one starts to die off, another one rises from the ashes. Okay. And that's what's coming. And we're very close to the rising of the next one. But first we're seeing the fall of the first one. This first one's going to rise up again, but never, ever to the magnitude of what it ever was.
And also,
okay? Because a new comes to power.
Also, both, folks need to realize this isn't the only system we've ever had in the U.S. I mean, what is this, like the third or the fourth system that we've had in the U.S. monetarily? You know, we had the gold standard, went off of that.
That's a great point. I've not done enough research on that, but that's a great point because every time there's been a massive financial shift, you've technically had enormous world changes. The last two times we've had this where we had two world wars. Okay. So this time we're not having a world war. Okay. There's no war around the corner. There might be conflicts, but there's no world war right around the corner. Okay. The event was the virus.
Yeah.
Okay. The virus replaced the event of a war, but it doesn't change the fact that there is a massive financial shift caused by an event. I didn't know our last time we were on the interview that the event would be coronavirus or the virus. I just knew that the cycle indicated, from what I was shown, that the cycle was supposed to crash a minimum of around 35%. We had 36% yesterday, the 19th, or the 18th of March. The cycle isn't over yet. So there's still more to the downside on the crash. However, the minimum target's already been hit. And so eventually, as the cycle pattern completes into April, as spring arrives, we're going to have the rise of this new era. It's a new era in time. This is what I've been talking about for 2 years.
Yeah.
My words are always a new era in time. Now, what is an era? Google it, okay? That's not 10 years. An era is an immense shift in time where it just one complete huge change occurs and a new huge change is born. And this is where we're at right now. We're never going to go back to the old world. Go outside to the stores, go to Starbucks, it's changed, people, okay? And yes, there'll be changes along the way. There'll be more changes, but this is not over. And when it is over, it's going to be the birth of a new era in time, not just a financial era, a new era.
Well put. We've described it as a paradigm shift, and that goes right in with that. And I do remember when we were talking, and you were making your prediction. And of course, I used to use a lot of technical analysis in the past in managing monies and things, so I kind of understand the cycles and not as well versed in it, obviously, as you are. But I remember very well how you commented, I don't know what the event's going to be. I'm not a soothsayer. I'm not given a vision of that, but I'm just telling you from a biblical perspective, from a cyclical perspective, and from the analysis that I do, this is coming, and this is the time frame I expect it to be. You were spot on.
Yeah, it did play out that way, and the cycle is yet not complete. The old financial system doesn't end technically until doesn't mean it's going to keep crashing until April 21st, but that is a critical time point. And then beginning on the 21st into the 22nd, a new paradigm should begin to be born. So very, very important shift in time, still continuing into the April 21st time point. And that could be 7 days backwards, 7 days forward. That's just how the cycles work. But still, the point is April is a critical time point still for immense changes within our world.
Well, and Bo, and let me tell our listeners out there, we kind of speak about the urgency of this. If they could go back 2 weeks in time, they'd have gone, they'd be making entire different decisions than they were. And folks, what Bo does, he makes his living doing this and sharing this information. Information's power. And what he does when he comes on our show, he'll actually give you a 50% discount. If you'll enter the code when you go to subscribe, Wild49, he'll give you a 50% discount off of, some of this pontification. Go ahead.
Well, actually, I think if people want to subscribe, the reason you'd want to subscribe if you're interested, and again, this is only for people who are traders. If you're just looking to buy cryptos, why would you need to have someone to tell you time points? It's not necessary, okay? Right. But there's a lot of people who are out there who are traders, and they like to, get in on the low and then kind of edge out or take some profits at the highs and then get back in again. Because I do want to tell you crystal clear, the cycle does not indicate that Bitcoin and cryptos are off to the races in the near future. They're not.
Yeah.
Okay. The elite are still trying to control this before it takes off. So what's about to happen is I still believe, and the cycle indicates that the stock market still has another leg down. Okay. If you've watched Bitcoin in the past month, okay, Bitcoin's moved pretty closely with the stock market. So if the stock market's got another leg down, so do the cryptos. Regardless of today, it's like the 19th and people are like, wow, cryptos had a great day today. They're going to keep this is it. They're off to the races. No. We're still expecting another leg to the downside. I don't know the price that's going to get hit, but I do have a very important time point that's critical. This date into the future, near future here, is a key entry point for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency, because it's expected to be a very important low point. And then from that point, yes, they do take off. And then April should be really nice for the cryptos. And then that's going to continue. But then once that pattern runs out, that cycle runs out, they're heading back down again. So don't expect to see, Bitcoin go to new all-time highs in the next 2-3 months or something like that. It's really not expected. We do expect a tight cycle high coming in off this low, then another leg down to the downside. So that's, again, if you're interested in these patterns, and specifically if you're interested in this really important time point for cryptocurrencies, then yes. So go to our website, Gold 2020 Forecast, and then use the promo code WILD49, and that would get you the 99 14-day trial down to $49, so 50% off. And then that, again, you'll be able to get some really important cycle time points into the future, which is really critical if you're a trader. And most importantly, we cover 7 or 8 cryptocurrencies in there that I really, really prefer. And so I do cover my picks personally that I personally hold. So it's not trading advice. It's just what I follow, and all the charts that I follow, I post within our updates for our subscribers. So great, great information. I believe we have a, large following. But this is a very exciting year for cryptocurrencies, exciting year for gold and silver, and an exciting year for the stock market, as you're seeing. But again, one has to die off, another is going to rise out of the ashes, and immense changes. The world is going to look back at this year, 2020, and realize, this is why I had my website, Gold 2020 Forecast, 7 years ago. Why? Because I knew the world will look back at this year with 2020 vision, that this was the year that changed everything, and this will delineate, this time point, this year delineates the old from the new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So Bo, let me ask you: as far as you can predict it, is all of 2020 going to be very volatile, and are we gonna see a little bit of stabilization in a few months down the road? And
volatility is going to be a big word for this year, because the cryptos on the next leg they're going to have, I think, a very powerful leg to the upside. But then the people that, that when it takes off, the people that don't want it to take off, the ones that have been holding it down, are going to hammer it again. So they're going to try to take it back down again. So we got a lot of this going on, this battle going on this year. But the ones that are holding it down lose by the end of the year.
Okay, very interesting.
So it'll be a nice finish to the year. But again, but this year is going to be nice, excellent, or really great, but nothing compared to what's coming.
Oh, wonderful!
After that, So we've got a lot of excitement, especially into next year. So we've got a lot of excitement, a lot of exciting price movements, and again, those are going to happen because people, as you're seeing right now. Talk to your friends. People are feeling, if you have 401ks and they never listen and they're still stuck in the stock market, right? What have you just lost or losing? Faith and confidence. Because the market's just tanked 35% in about 2 to 3 weeks. That's called a loss of confidence and faith. And so when people lose confidence, you're going to have eventually, not tomorrow, but eventually a shift into a new monetary system. And it's going to force the people in control, particularly, I believe the president, to do something drastic in the monetary system, in a not too distant future. So a lot of excitement, coming. This is not a time to be fearful. Pray, know that these are times that have been written about for 2,000 years. This is the third seal of Revelation, of rebalancing the financial scales. This is not, the world not coming to an end. Just have peace in your heart. And just, I hope some people have prepared. Those who haven't prepared, this is not the end. It'll stop. The crash eventually stops, and then the governments, or Trump in particular, is going to be forced to do something. And and it's going to be positive. But again, if those people who are right now involved in cryptocurrencies or are getting involved, very smart, and those who can still get their hands on some physical silver are extremely smart. But you'll see what's happening, right? Silver. This is incredible. When was the last time that you actually saw something that's unavailable, but yet its price keeps going down?
Yeah.
Go buy an Eagle. They're minimum $25, but the price of silver is $12 today, okay? So, okay, this is unprecedented what you're seeing happen. But like I've said in several interviews before, on this next move in gold and silver, it's the end. When I say the next move, I'm next move up. Yeah. It's the end of the financial system, technically, as you know it. And that's why they're doing everything they can to not let gold and silver skyrocket. But if you follow my reports, cryptos, gold and silver had a down cycle beginning in the end of February. What's happened? The cycle played out again perfectly.
Exactly. Well, Bo, you're one of these people that we really appreciate. When you talk about no serendipity and us meeting you when we did in Vegas, part of that was so that we could help you reach new audiences and share this, because people that will pay attention and respond to that are going to fare this better than those with their head in the sand saying everything's going to be okay.
Well, the thing is, like you guys, when I met you, both of you gentlemen, like, you have good hearts. You do it for the right reason. You do because you care for people. There's people out there making YouTube videos just to get hits and just to get, thumbs up. And I do this when I met you guys, it's because you want to inform people, for the right reasons. That's why you do what you do. And that's why I do have great respect for you guys, both.
Yeah, well, we appreciate that. And we always appreciate, I'll tell you, folks, with all the things going on, I reached out to Bo yesterday, and he made himself available to come in and visit with all of you folks. I highly recommend you go in and take a few of those shekels you're saying bag and subscribe to his report, because it is eye-opening. And now we've had you on enough times, Bo. I have had people say to me, on this date, he said this. And I'm like, have you ever set out on a trip and you thought you'd get to the store or your in-laws at this time and you had a flat tire? Who do you blame? And we know the manipulation that goes on. Even when watching our stock market, Trump committed $1 trillion, an incredible amount of money. And people aren't even reacting to it now like they had hoped they would.
Well, with all the money that's been generated, think about every weekend and how much money they pumped into the markets, right? Going into the week. Mm-hmm. It didn't break the cycle.
No.
The cycle continued. And so, when a cycle needs to complete itself, it doesn't matter how much they fight to prevent it, it will still happen. Actually, this is from a prior interview that I did last year, actually early part of this year, and even maybe on your show. But there was 4 points about this stock market, which is actually this chart right here. Mm-hmm. So this was the chart that I posted in February.
Yeah.
So you can have a look at that closely there. But you look at that cycle, and this clearly indicates as to the cycle itself from the February high, which was way up here. And then I have this crazy line drawn, so the market's going to get down to 35% down. And boy, did people laugh. He doesn't know what he is talking about. And it hit 36% yesterday. The point is that you'll notice the pattern, how it played out perfectly. And it came into this low right here. The cycle itself is there. It's visually, it can happen. Oh, and I'm sorry. The reason I put this chart up initially in the first place was because I want to talk about these 4 points right here. Right there. There's 4 points. And the 4 points are the plunge or the collapse. Number 1 will be quick, rapid, and sudden. Check. Number 2 will shake faith and confidence. Check. Mm-hmm. Number 3 will not, the ones that control the system, will not know what hit them. Mm-hmm. Check. Number 4, they will try to stop it, but they will fail.
And all of those spot on. God spoke that to you, and he wasn't. The accuracy is uncanny.
So,
Yeah.
just, these, please, none of this, I didn't write that. I transcribed it.
Yeah.
My point is that God does nothing without first warning his servants, the prophets. Now, I am not a prophet. I'm a messenger. Okay. Prophet, Lois Vogel Sharp. Okay. My point is that messengers, this is what was my job, to show the world who listened, who didn't.
Yeah.
Now we see what happened. But the words spoken were 100% accurate, and the chart provided was 100% accurate.
Bo, I tell you what, we always appreciate you, and let's please keep in touch. And if you have things that you're wanting to share and get on, I mean, just reach out to me, especially with what we're doing while this is going on. It's not just a weekly show. This is our 4th broadcast this week, and we want to bring the news to the people out there because, a bunch of folks are out there wide open. There is a lot of fear. I understand it. And we're not really seeing it in our small town, And so,
well, and here, remember, the moment you start seeing it plugged on the news, and some of the main medias, Fox, MSNBC, okay, they're plugging fear, okay? Turn it off,
yeah,
okay? Because if they're plugging it, you're listening to evil's channel, okay? God speaks through his prophets, not through MSNBC or CNN, okay? So turn it off. It's just fear mongering, okay? They want to scare you. Yes, they created a virus that's very nasty, so just stay out of the public. But the point is, don't be fearful, because the bottom line is, this is the most important thing I can finish with, okay? This whole pattern, the cycle prophecy was written 2,000 years ago, and guess who wins? Guess who just caused the stock crash? And they couldn't control it.
Yeah.
God's got the wild card, and God wins with his son, Jesus, period.
Yeah.
It's the good book, the book of good news.
You bet.
It's good news. So relax.
Yeah.
Pray.
We just move on to the other seals.
Yeah. Yeah. And then the other seals, these things will come to pass, but not just yet.
Yeah. Very good. Bo, God bless you and your house full of people now because kids are out of school.
Yes, I had to lock everybody in their rooms and tell them, be quiet, please. I got an interview.
All right. Well, listen. Yeah, thank you so much.
Bo.
Yeah, and we'll be in regular touch, my friend.
Thanks, gentlemen. You're the best. I appreciate it. God bless you guys.
Thank you. God bless you too. Folks, Wild West Crypto Show, stay tuned and be watching our channel and stuff because we're going to be doing things as we feel it's important. Wild West Crypto Show. See you next time.